So I wasn't going to bother doing a video for this, but I just think it goes to show a little bit of something. Now, yeah, okay, this gun's been used, but it's been very lightly used. It's basically brand new. Now, I'm about to find out whether this has had any work done to it internally when I pop it open. But there's a couple of things. Now, bear in mind, it's been like this since day fucking dot. So, let's have a little look to see what it's doing. Now, all I've done to this is set the hop up for 2 5s. That is all I've done. I've not even changed the battery. I don't know what battery's in here because it came to me connected. So, first thing we notice, okay, mag is in. Are you ready? Over 400 quid for one of these. That's a load of pish. 253. 251. 256. 256. Empty. 254. Fucking hell. So we've got feeding issues. Now, a few of the things noted in the paperwork is that the stock is on pissed. Yeah. That's easy enough to rectify. There's a lot of movement between the upper and lower. I don't normally see a lot of that with VFC, but that's quite common in a lot of fucking AEGs, so I can't piss and moan about that because that is so common. Now, I don't know if it's been done inside of this whatsoever, so I'd like to have a look inside it because it sounds fine. Sounds pretty good. I just think it was reassembled by a chimp. Okay. Oh, fucking hell. Oh, that's in there. Fuck me. Like, really in there. Oh, fucking hell. Jesus Christ. Are you kidding? Oh, you bastard. Come on, you motherfucker. So, there's no fucking way to get that out. That is threaded in there. Absolutely threaded. One of the many reasons that's either put in there pissed and it's fucked the thread, or it's got some kind of mad thread lock on it, meaning you've got to heat the unit. What the fuck are people thinking? Oh, fucking hell. Ah, it's not gonna go. Who the fuck glues them in? Jesus, what a retard. Next problem is a big long bolt that goes down through there. And either it's completely cross-threaded into the back of the spring guide in the gearbox, or it's been thread-locked to all fuck. And at the moment, I can't get it out. I simply can't get it out. And that is a problem. Yeah, I've got to try and find a way. Normally you'd heat it up to try and get that screw out. Sadly, you can't do that because that would mean heating up this entire thing with a blowtorch. Obviously, that's no good. You can't do that. It will burn everything up. Fucking genius. Fucking genius. Right. Check this out. That is some sort of putty thread lock. And it's sticky like sugar to the touch. So that's a thread lock. That entire thing, I reckon on the inside is fucking covered in thread lock. It has to be. That entire thing on the inside has to be covered in thread lock. I can't see anything else that could fucking be. Cunt. How the fuck am I going to do that? And that's the best I can move it, because the wires come through the fucking bracket. So all I can do, well, there is nothing I can do. This is going to take a considerable amount of fucking thinking. What a twat. Why would the fuck would you do that? Like, why would you lock yourself out of the gun? That moves independently of the bracket and the screw. The bracket and the screw stay in the fucking same position when I do that. Okay, an hour later. An hour of time has now been taken up me trying to get the stock off. I was going to film it, and then I thought, no, I've got to keep trying, and I just got in the zone. In the end, I tried drilling it. I managed to get some bits down there and try and drill that out. But it was just going nowhere. Going absolutely nowhere. I mean, it's just so on there, right? And I thought maybe the spring guard had pinged out the back. I don't know. So in the end, all I could do was squeeze in there the screwdriver and remove the right-hand side of the bolt release, and then edge that forward as much as I could, and when I got to about half a millimetre left, it was just trying to unscrew this. Look at the amount of fucking putty or two-part glue or whatever the fuck is on here. And the thing is, when I touch it, it's sticky like sugar. Now, obviously, that has gone clean through the fucking wires. There was no way around it. That was the only way that was fucking coming out. It had to go through the fucking wires. So I'm left there thinking to myself, you know, why did this happen? And what the fuck is the reason behind this bullshit? And the reasoning is, I guess, pretty simple. This gun came to me because the upper and lower were wobbly. The stock was wobbly. The semi-auto apparently kept locking up a little bit. But when this was originally purchased, it was returned because it just failed in power. And apparently, a new MOSFET was put inside. A gate MOSFET was fitted inside. I assumed it was going to be a Titor or an Asta. It's not, it's a Pico. Now, the Pico is still nowhere to be seen. So I can only assume that the Pico is living in the back of the gearbox. And I think I can just about see it through the little tiny gap at the back. To get to that, the stock tube had to come off. And this had to come off. I'm not saying stock tube, sorry. This had to come out. This had to come out. Now, if this is locked in place this fucking tightly, and there's all of this fucking sticky glue, or whatever the fuck it is, that can't be factory, because this has already been a part to be completely rewired, because this is not the VFC wiring. Now, I think that that has been thread locked in place to try and prevent any further problems with the stock moving or wobbling and twisting backwards and forwards. Obviously, normally there is this little grub screw up here. I've taken it out, and if that grub screw is running all the way through into that gap, it can't really move around that much. And I understand why you may thread lock this here, but that is a fuck up. And this is the kind of shit that really pisses me off. Now, whoever did this had no intention of causing this much hassle, but right now they're laughing their ass off because obviously someone else has put a fucking screwdriver to it. There's no way any warranty will ever be held for this. No way a warranty will be held on this. There's no fucking chance at all. Because, look at it. And that, boys and girls, is why I fucking film everything. You know, little jobs like this should have been a nice, fun job. It should have been exciting. It should have been like being a kiddie playing on a trampoline, but it wasn't. What this is actually like is being a fully grown adult, jumping up and down the trampoline, stark bollock naked, with open sores on your forearms and chest. And you're trying to steady a fucking white-hot tray of tramp cocks. That is what it's fucking like doing this gun, and I despair at what people do. I've said it 1,000 times, and I know I've mentioned I've had to start fucking thread locking things in, but fuck off. And let's be fair, all right? The person who did this they've got no idea that this happened. They don't realise the problem they've caused. You know, they were trying to look after the customer. The MOSFET blew, they replaced the MOSFET. It's been mentioned the stock is, you know, wobbly, and the selectors are wobbly, and they've done everything they can to try and rectify that, and good on them. But fucking hell! And now I've got to try and get this in the vise to try and open that up. I mean, you can see I've been fucking drilling it. Look at that. That shit's going nowhere. That's fucking funny. I wish you could have seen that shit. That is fucking funny. Oh my shit. Oh my shit. Look at that fucking miniature spring, for Christ's sake. Let's see what this really is, shall we? I mean, fuck! Here's my plan. I've had to think about it a while. So I'm going to angle grind the back of that off and see if I can pull that whole thing forward, and then hopefully unscrew it. Okay. This was basically cross-threaded to all fuck. Wasn't glued, just cross-threaded to all fuck. I expected to be glued, it wasn't. I put the blowtorch on it, it still stayed stuck. But literally, right there, cross-threaded to all fuck. That means the wobble on the selector's tried to be fixed as well. There's a shim in it. But a shim won't cut it. A shim won't fix the problem. I know because I've tried the same fucking thing myself. Right, this is the final outcome. I did everything the customer wanted. I fixed every problem that needed fixing, along with the problems that we didn't even know existed. Now, this should have been an hour of job. It should have been an hour. I don't think the person did that stuff because they don't know what they're doing. I think that happened because they were trying their best to deal with the issues that the customer had raised. You know, they raised the issue of the floppy selector, so shims were put underneath. But I've tried that before. That doesn't do it. That doesn't fix the issue. The stock tube, it wasn't in properly. It wasn't in the correct place, and it had been just thread locked to all fuck on the outside. And the inside, well, this is what's left of the screw. That's what's left of the fucking screw. It's a case of doing your best to help your customer, but not putting any forward thinking into it. The gun was shimmed fantastically, and it's still shimmed fantastically. I didn't need to change a single shim in that, it was done perfectly. This is a VFC, it doesn't come out of the factory perfectly shimmed. That doesn't fucking happen. But this was perfectly shimmed. So someone took the effort to re-shim it and make it the best it could be. But then, why the fuck didn't you change the spring? You know, the hop, not even set properly, was giving 260. And when you set it for 0.2s, it's doing 250. That's not good enough. You must have known that. If you'd have chronoed the gun, you'd know that was too low. Was it chronoed? Or was it chronoed and no one cares? What is it? Which one is it? This pissed me off because, again, it's a VFC and we know the issues of the VFC. We know the floppy. We know that's rotating. We know that doesn't work properly. We know they're not normally wobbly. They're not normally wobbly. Now I have fixed that wobble. Fuck all wobble there. Not a bit of wobble. I could literally, I'm not going to just in case, but I could take that and I could flex it. There's no wobble. Because of the way that I have reinforced it. And it's still field strippable. It's about applied knowledge. It's not about knowing absolutely every fucking thing about airsoft tech work, but being unable to apply it. It's about going, I've got to think outside the box. From the outside of this gun, you would never know what I did to fix that wobble. You'd never know. But here's what I fucking did. Boom. That's what I did. That right there. I'm thinking about the customer being right-handed, how they'll hold the gun. And I'm thinking, well, should I put it on both sides, one side, the other side? Well, let's just go with one side. If it's perfect, it's fine, but I chose this side. Tiny hole. Drill it, tap it, take a grub screw the correct length, and then screw it in. And you want to make it so it's almost touching the gearbox. And then, when you close the receiver up, like this, when there's only a tiny gap, you get in there. When there's only this tiny gap left, you get in there with the Allen key, and you tighten it inwards, very slowly, until you can only just close the receiver. And then when you close it up, it's very tight. And now, your wobble has gone. That screw, that grub screw, had to be the perfect length. I had to remove the back of the grub screw. So put it in, have it touch the gearbox casing, and then remove material from the back of the grub screw. Put it through again. Is it protruding enough? No, it's not. Or yes, it is. Check it all out. I fucked it up. New grub screw. And you keep bringing down the level of the grub screw so that finally there is enough to apply pressure upwardly into the upper receiver and the lower receiver and the gearbox itself. And then the stock moves, but that is then totally fucking solid. You can have that one. Try it yourself. The selector. Shims, again. Shims don't work. Shims don't sort that problem out. I know because I've tried. What does sort it out is firstly explain to your customer how to use the gun without making the wobble worse, without exasperating the wobble. What you do is when you're using an ambi selector gun, and I've said it in other videos, the Crytac and the TM recoil I think are the only AEGs that I've come across that don't really suffer from this, and you can just whip it down with your thumb. When you're using it, you take both sides at the same time and you bring them down together, because these parts are made of fucking tinfoil and they are free floating. Shims are not going to fix that. Shims are going to have no effect. So what I do is I take a tiny bit of black hot glue underneath the cog system so that it can't get in the gearbox, it can't get anywhere, but it applies a perfect washer almost, so that it gives compression and tension, and I don't know the word, I can't think of the word. I'm basically doing Mr. Miyagi. That's what I did. I got all fucking Mr. Miyagi, us, and I fucking fixed it like that. But now, that is solid. And yeah, I can just do it. I flobbed all over the gun, you see it? So don't spit on your hot rubbers to fit them in, just flob all over the gun. I love the gun so much, I fucking gob on it. This here, hear that? You hear that? And no wobble. I can flick it. So there we are. That's how it works. All this nonsense up here. I had to drill the back of that motherfucker out. Here's the screw. You've seen it. It's a fucking joke. That is very frustrating. And yeah, It took me many attempts to get that motor in properly because it's just such a crap design of how it wants to sit in there. It's bollocks. But the outcome is, the gun is now short stroke by 2 teeth on the piston, 2 teeth on the sector gear. Obviously, I changed out the piston because that's the bullshit that was left inside it. This panned out really well. I just wish I was able to make that lock in place, but unfortunately it's just too badly bent. The mag issue, this thing would not hold mags in the mag well. It would not do it. Would not do it. And the way they designed the mag catch is bollocks. It's bollocks. It's easier for a tech to get in there, but it's bollocks because the mag well is so fucking wide, so this moves around a lot. So to fix that issue, I simply took the internals of the mag out and I very slightly bent this out so that it can still catch properly and hold in place. And now that is not coming out. That's how you do it properly. So, considering the information that went up online today, cunting me out, do you know what, guys? If you think you can do it, you fucking do it.